Hello everybody who is going to be watching it in recording. I'm going to try to save it, but those who are watching it live, please let me know if the sound has any interference. Please let me know in advance, because sometimes it happens when you record for like an hour and there is no sound. Welcome you guys. Let me invite my guest tonight. Hello. How is the sound? Those who know me, I do a very interesting thing. It's called soul formula decoding. It's a blend of astrology and psychology. Together, those instruments combined, they're much more effective than if you do something separately, right? Because we can have the best of the both worlds. Those people who already been at my private sessions and one-on-one, they leave a lot of feedback, which is in highlights. I collect highlights, feedback from many years already, because this is the most revealing business card anyone can have, honestly. What other people say says much more about the professional versus the advertising campaign. People are making and hiring other professionals to do it for them, because the most honest opinion you would hear from people who actually been there and done that. And after that, you can make your own conclusion and decision whether this is something for you, whether this is something you would be interested in. This is how it works. Whenever we want to buy something, we go online, and we usually, if it's a big purchase, we like to read reviews. We want to make sure that whatever we're buying has the equivalent of the value that we are looking for, and we want to see what others say, right? However, I haven't been live for quite a long time, but I have a lot of questions from you guys in all my social media. Some of them are in Telegram, some of them are on Instagram, some of them are in TikTok. And this is your chance. If you have any particular questions you would like to ask in regards to the topic that I mentioned, astrology, psychology, tarot, esoterics, relationships, existential questions, personal questions, questions about your predestinations, whether you're going in the right directions, question about what future has in store. A lot of you guys are asking me, what is going to happen this year? What is this eclipse season is going to be like? How is the life is going to look for Scorpio or Leo or Taurus? Those who know me for a long time, I don't work like shallow. I work deep, you guys. If you're reading the horoscope about how this month is going to be for Leo, please stop. It doesn't work like that. Horoscopes are not working. It's a very old matrix. It's very old knowledge. And people who take their time into studying what actually happens, they understand that you can actually influence a lot on what's going to happen to you. Obviously, there is a hermetic principle, as above, so below. This is what it's all. This whole thing is about. Whatever happens in the among celestial bodies will have an impact and reflect on humans here on Earth. Yeah, that's true. However, it doesn't mean that you're a puppet in the arms of stars or planets. If you don't want to blame it always on the moon, you don't want to blame it on Mercury retrograde like people like to do. So you have the power to impact your future, because the way you are treating yourself, the way you decide to do things today will impact what's going to be like it for you tomorrow. If today you want to be procrastinating, scrolling the feed, and maybe grabbing a drink after work with your friends, tomorrow you're probably not going to be 100% that you could be if you choose to do otherwise. If you choose, instead of procrastinating or grabbing a drink after work with your friend, if you choose to hit the gym, for example, or if you choose to continue working on the project you started, no matter how hard it can be. So the bottom line is that you guys always have the power, and you always have the tools. And the tools, I'm one of those people who actually have the tools. The tools are the following. When you know exactly what you are, when you know what kind of energies you consist of, it's much easier for you to find the most effective way in anything you do, really, whether it's personal or professional, whether it's relationships with others, with your kids, with your family, with your significant others, or whether it's a relationship you build with your clients. Also, the tools are enabling one to understand what's going to work exactly for you, because we're all so different, right? We're all consist of different energies. We're all consist of different elements. Some of us have more water in us. We're more psychological. We're more empathic by nature, right? Water science will understand very well right now what I speak. If you have a lot of Pisces, Scorpio, Cancer in your charts, you don't have to be those signs by the sun, but if you have a lot of those energies, it's like some women confess, it's like, I don't know, being on your PMS 24/7. Yeah, it feels like it. It feels very emotional. It feels crazy. It feels turbulent. And the way you approach life, the way you resolve your problems, issues, the way you build your businesses will be slightly different versus if you have a lot of fire in your chart, if you have a lot of like energy of fire, if you have fiery planets, which is a different principle. It's not as much psychological, emotional, empathic. It's more about action, about the momentum, about catching momentum right now and start doing it, right? If you have a lot of earth in you, just a step back, fire signs, Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius. Again, you do not have to be that sign, but if you have energies in those sectors, and all of us do, all of us have planets somewhere. Depends on your personal natal chart, depends on your personal soul formula. However, if we have a predominantly fire energies, you would be more proactive. For example, you want to start a business, you do not have all the tools yet, you haven't gathered all the information yet, you didn't come up with all the money, but you have that energy, you just want to do something and you're doing it. Versus if you have a lot of let's say earth element in you, earth energies will be Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. People with the earth element, they usually take much longer time before they will actually do something, because they need to verify, they need to make sure I have XYZ, I have this plan, they write a plan, they try to go accordingly, they come up with the money, and they think, okay, once I come up with the money, once I write a 10-year plan, or once I have an XYZ tools, then I'm going to open that business. But it's, you see how different is the approach. And it's, I'm not saying the one approach is better than the other. I'm just saying that there's different elements to each and own, and all of them are needed. All of them are very important to look at. For example, if you are more of an earthy type, you usually are slower in making any decisions. You take much more time in before you actually do something. And on one hand, it's very good because you are more safe. You're playing safe. You are coming up with all the necessary elements that you have, and then you kind of already open the business or start a new thing. But on the other hand, you're missing out something from the fire, which didn't have nearly even half of what you already have, but had the audacity, had the energy to do so. You see of what I speak, you can learn, literally all of us, we can learn from each other. And then we have the air, right? Air element, air signs, Gemini, Aquarius, Libra. However, you do not have to be that sign. All you got to do is just have a lot of energies in the air sector, right? So those are genius, literally genius ideas, a lot of amazing thoughts that they have on the daily. They're like a breath of fresh air, right? The air, the element of air. These people have a tremendous amount of things. I can do this, I can do that. They kind of see a lot of variety when it comes to future. They see a lot of possibilities that are out there. They're very strong mentalists. They're very intelligent approach. They have a really good relationship with information whatsoever. They're really good at receiving information, working through the information, analyzing information, classifying information, and sharing it with other people. A lot of influencers, they have a lot of air element in their charts because they're really good with the information that they're spreading out across the globe, right? However, not everybody makes it. Not everybody becomes successful because one air is not enough, because right now it's blowing, but then it's quiet, right? They don't know how to spread their energy evenly. Like earth signs, they would be more consistent. Maybe they would not have these genius ideas, but they would consistently working hard every day on achieving their goals, and they likely would achieve it early or late because they do have the component that's necessary. One of the biggest necessary components for any successful enterprise, of course, would be discipline. Not everybody has the discipline. It's much more delicious to eat fast food in front of the TV while washing it down with a glass of wine and then lighting up something to smoke, right? Right. It's going to be it's easier, right? But where is it going to get us in a long run? It's not going to get us really far, if you will be honest with yourself. It's much easier to consume something which is not good for your health, but it's just very delicious, right? It's much easier to judge others sitting on the couch with a cigarette in your mouth than actually going outside, outdoors, hitting the gym or going for any other physical activity, and discipline your body to be stronger, discipline your mind to be sharper. It's much easier to criticize than to take the book in your hand and actually go through it and read it. Not everybody has the patience, not everybody has the means, not everybody has the time, especially if you're a parent, if you have children to take care of, if you have a lot of other obligations in front of your close ones, if you have a lot of other commitments. So it's always about the choice. Back to what I started, what was this whole foreplay about? We can influence, we can impact the outcomes. We can influence that for sure. Basically, based on our decisions, what we make right now, today, our future will be formulating in accordance with the decisions we're making. However, a lot of people, they are asking very often, like one of these questions I got recently, I actually had many people asking the same questions. It's regarding tarot. Let's jump onto this sector right here, right now. People are afraid because they don't know. For those who don't know what tarot is, I have a podcast that it's about 2 hours long on YouTube. It's absolutely free of charge. It's called Why People Are Scared of Tarot. I interview one of my really good friends and professionals I personally have a lot of trust and respect towards. We are discussing the essence of tarot. We're discussing the whole mysteries about it. We're discussing the history, where it originates. A lot of people have the misconception. They think that tarot is the divination. It's like some woo-woo, voodoo, whatever. Some kind of mumbo jumbo, whatever. But it's actually a system that has been originated in ancient Egypt. And this sacred knowledge, it's a sacred knowledge about the plast that surrounds the earth plane for many, 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 many thousands of meters, kilometers around the earth plane. Basically, it's like an Akashic records library. It's a library about what has been, what is, and what will be possibly. And those people who know the system of tarot, they understand how to read the Akashic records. Basically, they have the key to the library of the unlimited knowledge. That's what it is. It's not a divination. It's not like some kind of I don't know, magic or whatever you call it. It's a really good combination of logic and intuition. You need logic to learn 78 cards, right? There are 78 cards in every deck. Classic deck, Rider-Waite deck. But when you actually do the spread, you can't just learn 78. You can, but it's going to be dry knowledge, right? Possibly you can learn 78 cards. You can learn each and one of them, what it means exactly. But then you have to keep in mind and do the math. When there is a combination of the 78 cards, the meaning changes. It can change completely. It depends which card is next to it, right? So when you do the math, you understand you will need like thousands, hundreds of thousands of templates in your mind to make sense out of it, right? If you approach logically to the tarot cards reading. But if you approach to it creatively and intuitively, the good professional knows. Aside of the knowledge, aside of the basic fundamental principles, every tarot cards reader is learning the whole thing in the beginning to begin with, right? There is also an intuitive channel each and one of you can develop. There are certain rules and regulations for the channel to be pure, because some people, they're abusing substances and they call themselves a psychic or whatever. But I wouldn't want to go to the psychic like that, because God knows what that person is going to see through that lens that's not clean, that's not pure. So those bad habits, unfortunately, are non-negotiables. People with bad habits who claim themselves to be seer psychics, they are nothing but a connection to the lower astral planes. Lower astral planes have also some flat information, but this is a low vibrational stuff. You know what I mean? That's why there's so many people who are disappointed, so many people who are frightened, and I feel really sorry for them, because What you guys you landed in the hands of a professional who is unpure vessel, unpure channel, and those people can damage. They seriously can damage. They can tell you the outcomes for whatever questions you came to the psychic with. They tell you a very low vibrational development of your life events instead of taking you higher and showing you unlimited opportunities each and one of us have. So be mindful who you address, be mindful who you trust, learn how to recognize, learn how to separate the wheat from the chaff, as the Bible says, right? A lot of readers, a lot of seers, they have knowledge, but they do not have the intuition. They do not have the channel. In order to develop the channel, you have to be maximally clean, pure, and actually all those guidelines, I address to it a lot in the course. I created an archetypal psychology course for those of you who guys are interested in learning how to read tarot cards, learning the basics of astrology, learning the basics of numerology, learning the basics of all esoteric sciences split all together, because everything is connected. Literally, you can't just be a doctor without, let's say you want to be a dentist, right? You cannot be a dentist without going through the years of studying human anatomy. You need to know what the human body is made of, what the cells are like, what the bones are like, what the muscles are like, what the fascias are like, what kind of inside organs and how do they function, and how, you know, how it's all connected. And nobody's going to admit you to work on people's mouth until you pass the exams on how to be, you know, how to do this anatomy, how to know about the human body, right? Nobody will let you proceed and operate people before you actually understand the whole mechanism in complex. Although you're not going to do the surgery like a surgeon, right? You're only going to do the dentist stuff, but you have to know the whole organism. That's the principle how esoteric work, how tarot cards reading work, how astrology work, how a lot of other interesting sciences of the new time. I had an incident, actually. I had a client who was kind of trying to prove me that what I do is not a science. Okay, honey, you can go and try to prove it to anybody. You can write it down on your forehead. You can do whatever you want. Science or no science. But science, it's not the only way to measure, right? I know it's mind-blowing. I know for people with a small box, this is like an explosion. But if you're willing to go outside of the box, keep your mind open, this will actually tells you more. Science is not the only measurement for explaining things in the world. Certain things cannot be explained with merely conventional methods. Sometimes there need to be unconventional methods to explain the world woven of mysteries, the world we live in. So back to basics. Some people tell me in the comments, I don't believe in astrology. Okay, I love this. This is my favorite one. All right, honey, you don't believe in astrology, and that's your right. It's the foreign language. Astrology is the foreign language. You either understand or you don't. It's like saying, I don't believe in Arabic or Spanish or French. Whether you believe in Arabic, Spanish, or French, they exist without, like, they just exist. They're just there. It's you who can't understand it. It's you who can't speak it, can't write it, can't read it. It doesn't mean the language doesn't exist, does it? Right. Exactly the same thing comes when we talk about disciplines like astrology, numerology, and so on and so forth. There is a lot of instruments. It's like a toolbox for the carpenter. It's like the table for the surgeon. Surgeon needs to have a lot of different equipment, a lot of different pieces of equipment in order to perform the surgery, right? Yeah, that's the same thing. When you work with people, you apply a lot of different methods. Some people, they come with a severe depression, severe. They come with a lot of issues. They come with a lot of past traumas from the childhood. That's another my favorite. I get these questions a lot about my parents. I can't forgive my parents. My mom did this, my dad did that. Okay, honey, let's do this. Right now, we're taking the position of the adult. I'm an adult, okay? Whatever, I'm 20, 30, 40, 50 years old. Your parents, whatever they did or did not do, They didn't know any better, okay? They knew what they knew at that moment of their evolution. I suggest be grateful that you're here, because a lot of souls, they want to incarnate here, but it's not their turn yet. It's very complex topic. I'm not going to go in detail. It's a privilege to be here. It's your chance. It's an opportunity. Life is a gift. Be grateful that you are here. There is no need to rinse the diapers of the old. We're past that. You make the choice. You take the responsibility. You're like, all right, I was missing XYZ because my parents didn't know any better, but I make my choice. With my children, if I'll ever have them, I'm going to try my best. I'm going to give them the XYZ that I was missing. And I'm not going to be sitting and blaming. This is called adult. You are an adult. Adult chooses to be grateful, not even for them if they did you wrong, because some families are more destructive than the others. There's a lot of people who come from very abusive background, and it reflects on their whole life. In future, they're kind of like afraid. They're kind of always expecting others to do them wrong, and it actually reflects on their personal relationships as well. So adult position allows you to be empowered, allows you to be efficient, to be happy. Regardless of your upbringing, you make a conscious decision. That side of me is a little piece of the puzzle of the complex mechanism I am, right? I reprogram myself to bow low to my parents and tell them, thank you so much for providing me with as much as you could, for giving me as much as you could, which is your biological material for some of us. Some people are even orphans, they have no idea who their parents are. Thank you for the biological material, and so on and so forth. And a lot of us, if we really sit and think about, we have so much to thank. We just don't bother to sit down and actually work through it, because there's so much things to be grateful for in life. We have so much more than the others. Food on the table, clothing that covers your body, a roof over your head, and so on and so forth. Those things are very, very empowering. If you think about it, it's a luxury. It's for some people, they don't have the luxury that you have. When you start writing things of what you're grateful for, you understand you're a very wealthy person. You're much wealthier than you actually think you are. And the gratitude, it's also the mechanism that activates abundance. A lot of coaches, right? The coaches who teach people how to make more money, how to be more financially abundant. Financial abundance starts right here. It's our allowance that we allow ourselves to have. It's the way we're thinking. It's the way we see the world. It's the way our relationship with money is built. Some people, their relationship with money is just as bad as their relationship with people, because they simply do not allow themselves to think for even a fraction of a second that they deserve more than they do. They start blaming economy, and anybody but themselves, right? Again, very childish position. Again, very correlates with what we spoke about in terms of blaming your parents. People who are blaming anybody but themselves in a long run, they are the ones who are missing out on a lot of opportunities life have for them. The life is much more abundant than we tend to think. Another popular question. I have a lot of girls especially who come up with a question along the lines of my relationship is very unhappy. I am attracting this XYZ type. It's very oftentimes narcissist. The term narcissist, if you will break it down, what it is, one of the popular things nowadays among psychologists to speculate on it. You call everybody narcissist, you call everybody abuser, and you do not take any responsibility. Well, why do you, such an amazing, brilliant, gorgeous star as you are, keep attracting the same stuff? You know what I mean? Like, why do you attract this particular type of personality in your life? Did you ever bother to question yourself? Maybe there's a little bit of thing we have to work with you, so you do not attract like a magnet those particular types of personalities in your life. I know I'm harsh for some, not for everybody. I'm not saying I'm gonna sugarcoat you and stroke your hair, say good girl, good boy, you're doing everything right, you're amazing. This is not the type of coaching session you will get if you will work with me, because I'll tell you exactly as it is without sugarcoating. Your soul formula has the information, has everything. All I need is your date of birth. when we go deep, we go deep. You learn not only about your talents and pluses and amazing, unique set of skills only you have. You also learn about your shortcomings. You also learn about your shadow side. You also learn about those minuses you're born with. Those minuses, it's not something wrong. It's just is. There is nothing good or nothing bad. It's just is. It is what it is. And once you understand the mechanism of your own psyche, once you understand the settings you initially came here with, then you're like, oh, okay, now I know what to do exactly. Now I know why all my life I was attracting the XYZ pattern. When it comes to jobs, when it comes to relationships, now I understand what kind of thing in me was the magnet to that thing all along. Now I understand that. That's how people come out after the soul formula decoding sessions, after the tarot cards reading that are tailored exactly for you. We're not sitting here and doing the divination by, eating some flower seeds and thinking, oh, the future is going to look like this or that. No, you choose how your future is going to look like. You are empowered, and I give you all the tools you need to do so. You choose how you're going to build your life. Going to the psychic or intuitive or a spiritual guide or tarot cards reader or seer or oracle, whatever you call it. There are many of names, mediums, Akashic records reader, yogis, whatever you call those specialists. Going to them, it's not just like getting a pill, magical pill that you swallow and everything is great in your life. It doesn't work like that. Real spirituality, it's a lot of cleaning, literally a lot of cleaning. Who from us likes to go to our closet or our, I don't know, attic if you live in a house where people usually store all that bullshit they don't need, or, they just take it once a year or like, I don't know, whatever, right? Garage. Who wants to go and clean that? Nobody wants to go and clean that. There are spider webs, there is dust, there's a lot of old crap, right? But that's what the cleaning is all about. That's what the self-work is all about. You go in that scary attic, you put your gloves on if you need, you put your mask on, you start sweeping, you start polishing that, you start reorganizing all those boxes. You throw away the old stuff that you don't wear anymore, like old shoes, old clothes, or you donate it. And then you you liberate space and you buy some new clothes, articles of clothing. I mean, when you clean the whole old stuff that you no longer wear. It's just an example, right? That's what spirituality is. That's what real warrior is. Real warrior is not the one who's sitting on the couch watching and scrolling all day long while, uh, self-indulging yourself in something that damages you in the long run. Real warrior goes out there, breaks the sweat, works hard, works on your body, on your mind, on your spirit. I know it's a little bit harsh for some of you guys, but whoever needed to hear it, I was here to announce that and tell you that the most hard work is the work on yourself, but it's also the most one that pays off. Once you start picking the fruits of your own labor, you're going to be like, wow, I really like who am I becoming. I still have to work on this XYZ. I still have to lose those few pounds. I still have to gain more, I don't know, something. I still have to make more money to accomplish my goals. Yes, it is. There's always room. There's always challenge. There's always something to accomplish. But it doesn't mean it's impossible. It's always possible if you put your mind to it. Your mindset is everything. There is abundant mindset and there is a mindset of lack. Those things are so important. They're so life-changing. And I don't know where I would be if it wasn't for astropsychology, if it wasn't for soul formula decoding that once I discovered too. And it was a brand new knowledge to me. It was kind of weird, scary. I was like, what is this? So, I was always into it, but I was not professional back then. I was just one of those people who happened to be lucky to receive one-on-one consultation. And that's when my life started changing to the best. I understand that most of your questions, guys, can be answered with very, very quick and simple glance at your soul formula. And once you do that, it's kind of like a passport. It's kind of like your birth certificate in a spiritual term. So every developing individual, every mother who has children, it's a must. It's like literally a must have. Once you have those tools that I mentioned above, you will be able to answer these questions without going to psychic seers or coaches. You will be your child best friend. You will understand your child not from the position, I'm the mother and I'm attached to you, my baby, right? No, you're not going to be like that. You're going to be looking at your child as a soul to looks at the soul, removing the ego out of the picture, getting rid of the whole idea that this is mine and I want to possess you and I want you to make you into my own liking and I want to project my own expectations onto you. No, you're going to be looking at soul looks to the soul. You're going to understand what kind of soul you're attracted to this earth plane, and you will be accordingly enabling them with having what they need to have. Sometimes all people need is just others not to mess with them, really, not to break their wings before they learn how to fly. Some parents, they like to limit their children with like, oh no, you're never going to be this, that because you are not XYZ. You're not good enough, you're not smart enough, you're not good looking enough. Oh, what do you mean you want to be a singer? No, your voice doesn't sound good. Or what do you mean you want to be a dancer? No, you can't move. You know what I mean? Like those limiting beliefs that people ingrain in their own children before they even learn how to fly, those are the programs that people carry out all their life. The person can be potentially one of the greatest musicians, artists, actors, dancers, doctors, philosophers, scientists, politicians. This person can be anything he or she wants to be, especially if they have the means, especially if they have astrological predisposition, which is very easy to see. You just get your soul formula. The person can be anybody. But when those limiting beliefs are stopping you from moving forward, and all your life you were sitting and thinking, I couldn't be that because my parents told me something, or like, oh, you will never learn how to drive, or you will never learn how to be a boxer, or you will never learn how to be this or that, or you'll never ever. Bullshit. You can be anything. And there is no need to blame anybody. There's just a matter of understanding. When you understand, I understand, they didn't know any better, their parents told them so. And it's like a program. That's it. You turn off the program and you download a new program. That's exactly what happens on soul formula decoding sessions, on tarot cards reading sessions, when you actually go to a professional who is interested in improving you, not just getting money out of you every month. Like a lot of psychologists, they're speculating. They're just like, running those old record about parents, whatever, bullshit. A good professional, he or she is not interested in your money, is interested in your improvement. Because if you improve fast, you will tell 10 of your friends. 10 of your friends will come to the same professional, because that's how good you are. All you need is one session, not 10. Not, you know what I mean? Choose your coach wisely. Trust your intuition. We're all different. I'm not for everybody. Some other coaches, they have their own style. I have a lot of respect to people who are, in the field, who have their own methodics, their own style. I'm always for your intuition. You know how you can determine it? First 3 seconds. First 3 seconds when you feel it's your intuition. Then you start having the other logical process in place, and then you kind of start analyzing, oh, I'm not sure about this, I'm not sure about that. There's another life hack. When you don't understand where you're going, whether you should or should not collaborate with this business partner, for example, whether you're thinking about the date, you just went on a date and you think, do you like the person or you don't? I like this, I like that. Trust your body. Your body language is also one of those things that your body is your best friend, really. Your body is not your enemy. Your body is trying to tell you, signal you. Understand how you feel. With certain people, you feel very calm, you feel very at ease, you're laughing, you have the humor going, you have the banter going, you're naturally relaxed. You're not performing, you're not protecting yourself, you're not like, yeah, like you're not in the mode of stress, you're naturally relaxing. Those are your people, the vibe never lies, it's your tribe. But with some people, your body is trying to tell you, something is wrong. It doesn't mean the person is good or bad or you. No, it's just not your person. It's just not your vibe. That's it. Your body is trying to prevent you from trusting somebody or getting too close with somebody who is of a different caliber, vibrationally speaking. Usually you will sense something in your stomach area, or you will start feeling something in your throat, something like you can't fully express yourself. You know, those connections, maybe you like the person, but you feel like you have to choose the words. You know what I mean? I have to like be careful and choose what to say. This is not a good sign right there. It shows that if you have to pretend, or if you have to put any kind of mask on next to somebody, most likely the vibrational level of that person is not identical or equivalent or close to yours. So you kind of naturally are trying to preserve yourself from it. You're trying to protect yourself instinctively. However, logically, you will sit down and be like, this person is nice. I like this, did that about them. But your body is not going to lie to you. Your body is your best friend. You see how many instruments we have to all of us, how much availability we have to all of us in this world. It's abundant. All we got to do is have the desire to learn about ourselves. So whoever needed to hear that, I'm here for you guys on all platforms. You know where to find me. All information is going to be below the video, below the live. You can watch it later. If you guys have any personal questions, you know, you're just one DM away. Thank you for being with me, and I'll see you on another flight.